Hi, Moyosola. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good. How about you?
Very well, very well. It's good to have you here on time.
Yeah,
And
thank.
how's your Saturday go?
Quiet, nothing much.
Nice. Nice. We'll hang tight for everyone to join in.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Mhm.
To know how to, and I learned that you can learn how to do it right if the teacher is good, the instructor was good yesterday, so I learned those things, and the best part was the free tools that we were exchanging. So now I know how to set up the CRM, and I did some of my own ChatGPT searches, and I learned a lot in this respect because these days, as a VA, without CRM, uh, you cannot go far. Okay, that's it.
Amazing. Amazing. And thank you for joining us despite how late it is at your end. Wow. Um, I'm glad you learned so much. Thank you. Hi, Annie. You want to share what you learned with us yesterday? Okay. All right. And then after Napa session where we had like an overview of what the CRM is about, and like Mobina and Isaiah said, we also learned about the different types of CRM. Also learned about how to pick a CRM, right? We learned about how to the criteria, things to look at before you go on ahead and pick one. So we had basically an interesting, session on what this whole thing is about. And then we moved on to more specific sessions. We had an interesting time learning about HubSpot yesterday and how to set it up, right? How to, when to pick HubSpot, what it's good for, its strength. We also had an interesting session yesterday with Jasmine from Salesforce, alongside our colleague Rosa Moss from Salesforce as well. they didn't only show us, how Salesforce works, they also showed, how to use the AI in it as well. And then how to also integrate it to your LinkedIn, your Sales Navigator. For people who use Sales Navigator here, there is a very easy integration, and they showed us all of those things. Anybody wants to share, what they picked out from the HubSpot and Salesforce session? Anybody? Don't be shy. We're about to start today's session. We have about 9 to 8 minutes more. Anybody? Isaiah. Okay. Isaiah is going to get a best student plaque.
I beg you. All right, thank you. So for the HubSpot bit, it was handled by the CEO of Anchor Bridge, and one of his colleagues. I could not get the name, unfortunately. However, Mr. Emmanuel spoke about a lot of things, but some of these I could relate to was understanding the sales playbook, while and making sure that it aligns with the CRM, which is HubSpot. And he spoke about some things that we could use, how we could use HubSpot. He spoke about the fact that HubSpot has a free version and can be used by both startups and enterprises. Then he spoke about the playbook, right? That's something I want to actually talk about. So he said the playbook tells you what you do, who your ICP is, what you anchor your business around. So what structures, that's the why of your business. Then he talked about also the sales process, and he highlighted that HubSpot and CRM in general make sure that no matter who you're selling to, the process remains consistent, efficient, predictable, teachable, and scalable. So a new person could come in or a fresh person could come in and understand what your sales process or your sales pipeline is all about using HubSpot and just run with it. Yeah, I think those are some of the things he spoke about. And we also did a walkthrough on how to exactly use HubSpot. And I don't think I can explain that. You have to just watch the videos.
You have to be there. So if you're not there yesterday, you just
My boss also uses HubSpot, so I'm 2 votes here for HubSpot.
Nice. So you must have been thrilled yesterday when we're talking about it. Great. So yesterday we touched on, what all of this is about. Exactly, Yafi. If you were not there, you missed. And today, and then we also touch on the tools, some of the tools that we use. We ran a poll among the attendees, and HubSpot, Salesforce, one of the highest tools that we currently use, and followed by a couple of others. And so we're really excited to have them with us yesterday to walk us through how to use these tools. So if you see a job opportunity tomorrow that says HubSpot or Salesforce experience required, you can happily just tick yes, because even if you don't use your company currently, you used it in TSPC session, and then that just counts. So today we're going to be focused on a more, going forward into practicality, and then the usefulness of these things, right? A lot of us have a lot of tools that we use and pay for that we're not getting the most out of. Just like the same person that buys every new version of an iPhone, but has never really used some very important part of it. You don't want to be one of those people. And so today we are drilling down into, the usage. We learned about, how CRM collects data yesterday. We learned about how it helps in our sales process. Today, we're going to be learning how to use all of that data that we're putting into it, how to transform it into information that is helpful for business improvement, sales improvement, marketing improvements, even customer success improvement, everything that you need to improve your retention, to improve your customer experience, to improve sales, to improve acquisition. Today is the day for that. And to begin, we're going to be having Omolara here, Akanni. She's a data analyst. So this is a very serious matter. It's not just about sales. It's not just about marketing. It's not about customer success. Today, we're going to be learning how to use all of these insights and how to turn them into useful information to help us make important decisions, actionable decisions, data-driven decisions. We are always using the word data-driven, like every other jargon that we use during our strategy meetings. So today, we're going to be diving into how to use this data. I just occurred to me that my video has not been on for minutes now. Apologies. Yep. So today we're going to be learning how to use all of this information that we get from our CRM. Yep. How to transform it into actionable decisions, into actionable, information that we can use at our places of work. Either you're in sales or in marketing, and revenue operations, or you're even a business manager or a founder, or whatever it is that your role is. Omolara is going to be walking us through how these things play out and how we can use the data in fact, how to even look for the right data, because that's very important as well. So she's going to be walking us through all of these things, teaching us, how to make this happen today. Hi, Omolara, are you here? Say hi. Yay! We can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm very excited to be here. I can't wait to get started. Hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing fine. I like that they've already done like a lot of groundwork for me, so like the other speakers. So I'm just excited to know that it will be easy for me to explain better since they have, that foundation from the previous sessions.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited. Is anybody as excited as I am? I want to see reaction. I want to see energy. The same energy you gave Iron Man and Superman yesterday. Let's bring it on today. Thank you, Moyo. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you, Ngozi. Thank you. I hope we've grabbed our pens and our writing pads and all of that. How do you want this to play? Do you want us to lay out the ground rules for us? Do you want us to share the screen from our end, or would you like to share from your end? Would you Q&As? Would you like people to unmute? Would you like them to, have it in the chat box? How would you like this to move?
Okay, hi everyone. So I want this to be like, as interactive as it can be. If you have any questions, of course, you can drop it in the chat box. I would also be checking on my end just in case I see any questions. And then in between, I would stop because I don't want to bombard with a lot of information. And if you have questions, you can just ask, and then I would always respond as, we go through the slides. The slides are not like a lot, but I'm definitely going to explain as much as I can, especially with my experience with data, especially CRM data. And I hope that you're able to get, what you want from it. But if you have any questions, no matter how maybe you think it sounds silly, you can just still put it there. I would answer them. I like answering questions anyways. And I like asking them too. So I think this is now the opposite. I'm at the opposite end.
This is amazing. So I hope we are all ready. She has given us permission to bombard her from left to right. Let's give her that energy. Thank you so much. I'm over to you now.
Yeah, okay. So I can actually share my screen from my end. Let me just do that. Once you can see my screen, you can just let me know. Okay. I don't really use Zoom, but I think I got the hang of it.
I don't want you to survive. You're up now. Your screen is up now.
Okay. Thank you to Lope for the invitation. So she already said the topic. I'll be explaining how CRM data is pulled and used for revenue operations. But before I get started, I'm trying to go to the next slide. Okay. I think I'm just going to hand it over to you because I'm trying to go to the next slide. Okay, it's been just okay. Yep. So before I get started, I'm just going to do like a very mini intro, right? My name is Omolara Akanni. I'm a data analyst and account management lead, right? I've been doing data for like over 4 years, and I've been an account management lead for like 2 years now, and I've been doing account management for 4 years. Fun fact about me, I don't know if it's going to be fun for you guys, but I'm from a mixed ethnic background. I think people get very excited about that. I think it's interesting. So I'm half Yoruba and half Akwa Ibom. I really love teaching kids a lot, not just about like academics, but more of like emotional intelligence, and then, making them self-aware, because I believe that anything you want to learn is from, like, when you're very young, you lay the right foundation. And it's the same thing for us here, right? Joining these workshops, joining these kind of calls is you laying the foundation for like opportunities to come. Then also I like really trying out new restaurants, maybe because I like food. I love traveling. I love patterns, colors, and I like collecting silk scarves. So in case you want to get a gift from me, you can always buy me a silk scarf. Like, it's pretty cheap, so it's easy. And I like everything data, right? I find data in everything, and I'm just excited to be here. Okay, so I don't know who did the lines, but I don't know how it's going to be cleaned. I'll just go ahead. So today we'll just understand where to get CRM data from, examples of how you can turn this CRM data into revenue insights, and how you can make decisions from looking at a dashboard, right? So whether you're a salesperson or you're someone that works on a data team, or you're in account management, or you're in customer support, or you'd always come across CRM data, and you're trying to make sure that you use this to make like informed decisions. Because to be honest, every company, everybody is all about, oh, how do we make money off of this, right? You're not just going to build a business for building sake. The point of making that business is to make revenue. So I think it's very, very important. So what CRM data contains basically is different things, from like people information, like as simple as people information is CRM data for you. So think of like your notebooks, where you write a lot of things about people you've met, or where you have like different business card stack, but you're seeing like a digital version of it. That's what CRM data is. So even to as little as your customers' names, your customers' emails, phone numbers, addresses, when they first contacted you, because you don't want a situation whereby you're stalling for like a whole year and you have not closed the deal, right? Even though some sales cycles can be very long, but once you're like looking at that date clearly, you tell yourself that, oh, it's time for me to close this out, or rather it's time for me to move this to like the next level. That's when like things like upselling or cross-selling will come up. What they're interested in actually buying from you or from the company you're working with, you need to have all of this information at hand. And when I'm saying about this information, I'm not saying in your head, because a lot of us are very used to, oh yeah, and yeah, he contacted me September 2023, and it's in your head. It's good to actually like write these things down. Writing down actually goes a long way, like more than we can imagine. And then customer interactions, like meeting notes. So I'm so glad that, AI has really like, taken up this space for meeting notes. I myself, I make use of Granular, I make use of Otter AI, and I'm sure a lot of us here also make use of different meeting notes, right? And then you have to make sure that you have all of this clear. So even if you're using AI for your meeting notes, please always cross-check and make sure that the points that were discussed were jotted down, because you will need that data for prospective upselling and cross-selling strategies. And then things like the use case of the customer. What is the customer using this product for? What's their website telling you? You need to have that detail as well. Feature requests. Sometimes some customers can even bring up requests that you can't imagine, and you have to discuss with your product team as a salesperson, because you're not the one that will build the product. You need to make sure that you're documenting all of this down. So even if your product team doesn't do it at that moment, but because you've actually laid this down, it's easy for you to quickly slip it in when you know that they're a bit less busy, or you just slip it in when you know that they're focusing on something regarding that, right? And then questions they raise, very, very important, issues they highlight, because even though you answer them on the call, you might need it for another customer, right? And then you're able to make references to that. Sales information as well is also CRM data. How much do they spend? And when I'm saying how much do they spend, I'm not just saying just the amount, I'm talking about it with time. So I'm saying, is it how much they spend on a weekly basis, how much they spend on a daily basis or monthly basis for the products that they are using. What kind of product are they interested in, and then what negotiations will you do? So when I'm saying negotiations, you would see some people, some customers, you actually have to like negotiate to as low as maybe even 50%, depending on the amount of volume that they are bringing to the table, right? So you need to actually document them down, because sometimes, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you realize that even the customer you're trying to negotiate with, they'll come back and tell you another thing. And you even be doubting that, oh, did I say that or did I not say that? Right. And it will be on the spot. So and when it's on the spot like that, you might not have the time to start going to the recordings of the call. So you need to make sure that in as much as you're writing them down, you're also like, having them at the back of your mind as well. And then what they could potentially buy, so that when upselling and cross-selling comes, you're able to know, okay, I see this as a potential cross-selling or upselling opportunity for this particular customer. And then most importantly is their behavior. Different folks, different strokes. How often do they engage with you? There are some customers that will probably not respond to your emails. So you tell yourself, oh, if this person is not responding to the email, I think phone number will work best. So that's like their preferred mode of communication. You need to know company A prefers calls, company B prefers emails, so that even though you're going on leave, for instance, and you don't want your deal to like close or something funny to happen in between, you're able to communicate this clearly to the next person coming in. And then they are able to make sure that they keep it afloat. And when you come back, you're able to complete whatever it is that is going on rather. Then which kind of emails do they open as well? You can also get all this information from your marketing team. So this is not just to only you, right? It's also to like, your collaboration with other teams. What kind of emails do these people open? You can ask them that and get that information as well, so that you can know the products that they are looking at more, and then you're able to upsell those opportunities to them. Then you'd also check what makes them buy and what makes them walk away. So things like, do you notice that this particular customer, when you mention money first, they lose interest? So then you know that you have to make sure that you start with discussing what the product is about before you discuss money. While there are some, they just want to know what the amount is before you actually go into what the product is about. So you actually need to know all of this and have them digitally stored and cleaned. So you see, CRM data is a lot. It's they're very simple data, but they are very, very important. So for today, most sales professionals, they like to make decisions based on gut feeling. I'm not saying gut feeling sometimes don't, in fact, sometimes they actually tell you, oh yeah, don't go with this. It works sometimes, but it's not something you should make decisions based on, because it's a thing of luck. So that's what's happening today. And then you now be forecasting wrongly and you are surprised that, oh, wow, how did that happen? Or you are having data existing in silos. So of course you have different departments. For the finance team, you're getting data for revenue from them. For the marketing team, you're getting data for insight of like website traffic and things like that, the emails that your customers open from them. From the product team, you're getting data about maybe screen tracking or screen monitoring or something, depending on the product that people use, and they will highlight these things for you. They are existing everywhere, right? That's what is your experience right now at the moment. But now I'll try to take you from there to what revenue ops will look like, which is making data-driven decisions every time and forecasting accurately, connecting this data across these teams and tools. No matter how you have data from marketing, from finance, you have to bring them into one as a salesperson, either as a dashboard or as a table, or you use any of the CRM tools. I'm glad that they've already spoken about Pipedrive, they've spoken about HubSpot, Salesforce, and all of that. So it's easy for you to gather this data with these tools. So like I said, there are many CRM platforms. They've spoken about HubSpot, they've spoken about Salesforce, and today I'm not going to dive into HubSpot and Salesforce, because they also shared their screen to show you. But I want people to not have excuses. So when I mean excuses, I mean that You see a lot of people telling you, I don't know how to use HubSpot, I don't know how to use Pipedrive, I don't know how to use Salesforce, or they are taking months to learn how to use all of these tools, right? And or they're looking for one mentor somewhere. Like a lot of people do that. I'm not saying looking for a mentor is very, very good. It's good to have a mentor, but I'm saying that you have to also do the groundwork yourself before trying to get a mentor. And to prevent those excuses, you have like mimic CRM functions that can actually drive those insights for you. So simple tools as simple as Notion, as simple as Google Sheets, as simple as Airtable, you can actually use it to actually make data-driven revenue decisions. It's something I've done before. Like I've actually used very simple, the simplest of all tools to actually drive revenue a lot. So that's why I'm saying it here. And of course, for people that are beginners, maybe you're scared that you're not familiar with these new tools like Pipedrive and HubSpot. You don't have to be scared. You can do it with simple Google Sheets, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Then also we have some CRM boosters like Metabase and Tableau. So Metabase is also like a data visualization tool, and Tableau as well. Data analysts actually make use of that. Even though you don't want to do it yourself, you can speak to someone on your data team and tell them that you would like this particular CRM data. So when I'm saying CRM data, I'm saying information about, maybe for instance, you're going to a customer support team about the interactions that some of the customers are having. That's if you're a B2B, if you're working in a B2B firm, or you're speaking to somebody in the marketing team to understand some behaviors, right? So you can gather all of these things yourself. So I'm just going to go to Google Sheets now. That's what I'm going to do now. Okay. So this is Google Sheets. Everybody has access to it. Everybody probably did Excel, used Excel rather when you were in school. So I'm saying no excuses, because we're trying to make money here for either our personal companies or companies that we work for, right? So when you're speaking to different companies, or like you've gotten a list of companies that you want to reach out to, or you've even reached out to already, it's easy for you to just create a database. So this is a database because it has like, rows and columns. So when you hear database, you don't have to be scared that the word is a lot, because it's practically just columns and rows. That's what they call databases. It's just that when they're studying like different apps, they can be a lot and they can be small. So when you collect data from your data team, like, okay, excuse me, how many companies registered in the past 6 months or in the past 1 month, they give you that data. You come here, you write like, you copy the company name. So in this case, we're using 15 companies as a use case here. And then you definitely have to have their primary contact, right? So the primary contact could be somebody that is actually using the product, which is the PM of that company, or the CEO or the CTO, depending on the product you're selling. It depends on different products, different point of the different people that you're trying to reach out to. And then you get the emails of those people. Your product team will definitely have that, or your data team will definitely have that. Even if they don't have it, you as a salesperson, because you don't even know the company in the first place, it's easy for you to find out this. Then their website, very, very important. I'm going to talk about this column very well. And then the industry, what is the industry this particular business is coming from? In this case, this use case is from a B2B perspective, right? And then the meeting notes that you have with these people, right? You want to be able to make reference. You can just put a column there and then, put the meeting notes link there so that you can refer to them. The company size as well, very important. The use case, what are they using the products for? And then how much did you, let me do this. How much did you put finalize? Like what was the contract? What was the SLA agreement? That should also be there. And when did they start using the product? You also put that there as well. And then where are they currently? You put that there as well. If you've not started speaking to them at all, that one is even pretty easy. You just put the business information and then, you start speaking to them and putting those details. But this is for people that, you've started speaking to already, right? So when you have this business information, I'm going to ask questions now so that I don't have to like talk so much. When you're looking at this, what can you bring out of this particular table? I can give a little expo, looking at the account statuses. What do you think? I'm trying to see where my screen is. Okay. I'll call names.
So for me, I think what stands out to me in the account status column is you can effectively have like a good overview of the like where the customers are, and you can also avoid churn. And for some customers that are active and they're expanding, you can work towards achieving getting renewals or expanding their, like, let's say if they're spending $20,000 right now on your product, you can ensure that they spend up to $50,000 if they're active and they're expanding.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Olatoye. Anybody else? Can you notice anything from this table? Hi, Edwina. I think I just saw someone on my screen. Hi, Edwina. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so Edwina, from this table, what can you take from it? Like what insight can you get from this table?
Okay. Expanding. Okay, it means that like the business is open to more talks. Like you can talk
Yeah.
more with the business. Like
Yes.
you can keep on renewing your contract with them. Like you can keep on talking to them about more businesses. That you see that there are more opportunities.
Yeah.
And the ones that are at risk, that means that it has come to like a dead end, or there's no room to continue such talks. Then the ones that are stable is that you have finalized and that you are going to have like a long-term contract with these people.
Okay.
That's what I understand. But I don't understand the chums. I'm trying to understand the chums side of the table.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So the churn side means that the person is no longer using your product anymore. That's what this churn side means. So that means you would have to now start revisiting that particular conversation and also look into why they churned. So do you know why you do that? You look at the industry where that particular company is from, which is e-commerce. And there's another person just right on top of it that is e-commerce, and they seem to be stable. So that's when you start asking yourself questions, right? Okay, why is this person stable and this person churning if they are like, from the same industry? Their use cases, you now have to come to their use cases. Okay, the use cases are different. This one is inventory management, while this one is customer engagement. So that now makes you deep dive into things like their websites to see their activities. You can even ask your marketing team to give you insights, right, on that particular business, to be able to make comparison, to be able to make sure that this person that is churned becomes this person that is stable, right? And you would also look at things like the contract value, like how much are we losing from this particular customer, right? This seems like a lot compared to other people's contracts. So you want to renew this contract with this customer. So you would have to revisit this person by also reaching out to their primary contact and primary email. So you can see how all of these CRM data are very, very important. The email, the website, the industry, and the use case. If you want to even deep dive further, you can go to like their meeting notes to see past conversations. Did they reach out about any feature requests? Did they reach out about a complaint and then the complaint was like, recurring, right? You want to look at that. So these are CRM data that you need to actually deep dive in. You can just choose like a day that you know that, okay, this is the day I want to take a look at the data. I want to sit back, right? I don't want to call anyone today. I just want to sit back, look at my CRM data and then make sense out of it, right? This table looks very small, but it's very powerful if you're able to look at it very, very carefully, right? And then the ones that are at risk, you know that it's a call for action. Mind you, this account status column, you're the one as a salesperson that will come up with it. You're not going to reach out to the product team for this. You're this account status, you are the one that will come up with it. And how would you do that? You get the data from the data team or the product team, like, okay, what is the person's maybe it's a payment company now or something, can get, okay, how many transactions did they do in the past 6 months? How many transactions did they do in the past week? So you know what, I'm just going to deep dive into that one by one. So this is the first company, Tech Flow Solutions. We have the business information. Now I want to deep dive into it. So this sheet, Tech Flow Solutions, they are a software as a service company. This is their website. They have 150 employees. And then their use cases, sales automation. And then this is the amounts, right, that they pay. And they're active and they're expanding. So we want to check them. So this data would have gotten it from the product team, right? Or the growth team, depending on how your team is structured. And then you're able to say, okay, for the past 6 months. So most times I tell people not to wait for 6 months, but just for the course of this particular review that I'm doing, so that we have a very large span of data. But it's always good to monitor on a weekly basis. And then if you want to review, it's good to review like on a monthly basis, because then you have enough data to make decision of, right? So say in January, you're seeing that, okay, they were having 150 active customers, and then you're seeing all their customer numbers. How many transactions did they do? Seems like they kept increasing from January 2000, they increased to June. That looks really good, right? Their revenue too doubled. You can see from 2000 to 4000, their revenue doubled from 100K to 200K. So it seems like these people are really growing well, right? So what you now do is now, okay, with this information you have, you know that this particular company is doing very well. You now start getting metrics and information from different departments, right? So the active users, you got the average from like, you know, the past 6 months, and you saw that they are 142 over 150, and it's like 95%, 95% of their users are active, right? Out of the benchmark that you've already set for them. So it's excellent. Then you check, okay, what are the products that they use? How many do they use? They use 18 out of 20. That's really, really good. What are the features that they use, the advanced ones, because sometimes you have like the main products and then you have add-ons, right? You also check that. How many active users do they have? Like how many customers do they have? You also take note of that as well. Then from the marketing team, you can also get things like the session per user per day, or the time spent per session on a particular maybe page for like products, or a particular web page if it's for like things like e-commerce. E-commerce now, you have like a web page that people visit to buy these things. So you want to see users per day from that particular business, right? And then you speak to the And then you speak to the support team as well. Like, okay, from the support team, how many tickets did they raise? This one, they raised just 3. Seems like you don't really have a lot of issues like that, which is good. And the resolution time, you notice that from the support team, they told you that it takes them about 2 hours to actually resolve a very, very high priority, sorry, I said high priority, a very, very low priority issue, or a very, very complicated issue rather. It takes them like 2 hours, which is fair, because what your success rate is looking at is like, okay, if the situation is really bad, within 8 hours, we should have resolved this, right? And then you are checking their revenue impact. Most times you get this from the finance team as well. Like, okay, what has the increase been like since implementation? You can even look at it by yourself. If they started in January and it's 100K, and then, you know, they are increasing to 200K, it looks like, you know, they are increasing. So everything seems very good, right? And then you come back to this table and you're seeing another software as a service customer, but they are at risk. So you want to be able to compare these two from the same industries and see how you can bring insights from this tech flow guide to the Data Vault Pro guide. So you open the Data Vault Pro guide too as well. You also have the same data sets that you've gotten from the product, support, sales, finance teams. You can start from one. I'm just doing this elaborately because of this workshop. You can start from support. You can start from product. You can start from number of users, things like that. Like there's a lot of data for you to use, right? And then you focus on those things, right? And then when you do that, you're able to see here that this customer, their active customers are not really all that stable. Then what is it telling you? You need to get on a call or send an email to this person as fast as possible. But you don't want to go into that call with no plan, with no strategy, right? And you don't want to just do the regular strategy of, yeah, our product is good, our product is the best. So what do? You go to someone that is within that same industry, and then you go to their website and look at things like their support tickets and things that they are doing, right? That these guys are not doing. And then take a look at those insights, take them and use them to make the decisions that you want to make. So you can see that for these guys, they raised like 28 support tickets, meaning that they are probably having their users having issues adopting to whatever product it is they are churning out using your company's product or your product. As I said, this is like a B2B case study now in this case. And then you're looking at their average resolution time is taking way longer to resolve their issues. So then you have to reach out to the support team and ask, oh, please, I just want to have clarity on this particular company. I noticed that yada, yada, yada. Why do you think this is happening? They will give you more insights and more data that you can jot down, and you know that, oh, I'm taking this into my meeting, right? Or I'm taking this to the support, or I'm telling the support, please can you help us, work on this? Work on this with the product team or something like that. That collaboration is really needed for you to be able to drive revenue, right? And they are seeing that their sales increase is on the minus. It's just giving red flag. And because of that, they are not churned yet. They're at risk, so you can still save them. Even churned, you can save churned, but at least the ones at risk, you need to gather all the insights that you can, as much as you can, to be able to win them back. So now let's just now do this. So because we looked at the data sets there, we're going to now take them one by one. So tech flow solutions, they were the excellent performance. You want to look at them one by one, like, okay, how is their customer growth and transactions? They've been having active customers. They've been having steady transactions. So it's showing that their customers are adopting to the products very, very well, right? So you would have to go and check how are they doing it. You can even download their app. You can download their app. I know how many apps I've downloaded, right? You can download their app to see, okay, maybe their flow, how is their flow and how does it look in this other customers' flow? And then you're able to compare, right? Revenue impact, the revenue has doubled over the 6 months. 6 months, you're seeing that that's doubled. Of course, because their transaction increased and their growth increased, it obviously impacts revenue. So that one is a no-brainer. Then the product adaptation, so you're just trying to see their engagements, their user sessions and everything. And you're able to do all those comparisons. So I've actually already discussed this on the sheets. So I'm not just going to go too deep. I want to focus on this guy, which is Data Vault Pro, that we're trying to get back. So we notice that their customers remain flat. It's the same thing. There's no high, there's no low. It's just between 30 and 35 flat. And their transactions just keep declining. So it's a call to action. You need to discuss with them. You need to call them. You need to send emails to them. Depending on, remember what I said earlier, when you're getting your CRM data, you need to know what is the preferred mode of communication of this particular customer for me to be able to win this deal or win this customer over, right? And you would also check their product adoption as well. How many active users do they have? The same thing you do for A is the same thing you do for B, and you compare it like really closely. So the reason why I'm saying is because it's something I've done before, where I actually divided like these businesses into different buckets of industries, and then looked at the people within the same industry, seeing them doing well and seeing the other ones not doing well. I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Let's check their websites. Let's check their support requests. Let's check their marketing metrics. Let's check their growth, their transactions over the past couple of months. And because of that, we're able to win them over. And so because you've seen that opportunity for growth for Data Vault Pro, as I said, you upsell. You also try to prevent churn by improving support SLAs, proactive engagement, and then target onboarding as well. You can just tell them like, okay, maybe their users are having issues adopting to your product. So what can you do? Things like demos. It might be you, depending on how your company is structured, or it might be someone on the support team or account management team or whatever. But you're the one that should drive it, and because you're fighting for the customer that you brought into the company. You don't want them to churn and then, all your hard work is gone. So you've gotten the person into the door, right? So you've gotten the person to use the data, and to use your product. You want the person to stay. Then you have to make use of your CRM data to do that if you want them to stay, right? It's very, very super, super important. You don't want to win a deal and then in 1 month, the person has gone. And then it's more like, oh, it's because of sweet talk that the person even decided to use the product at all. Yeah. So that's basically it. So before I go to this, I don't know, does anybody have any questions for now? Okay, I think I'll take that as no questions. But if you're still listening or you can hear me, just react with like a tick or like check mark or like, I don't know, an emoji. Okay. I can see some emojis on. Okay, thank you very much so that I know that you're here. All right. Okay, so that was that. Very simple Google Sheets, Excel, no excuses. Increasing revenue for your business or the business you're working for with just CRM data, simple CRM data. And then you realize that to actually change, it will make a difference, trust me. It sounds very simple, but it will definitely make a difference because customers like proactivity. So when I mean proactivity, they like that you notice something about them and you're reaching out to them about that. They really like it. It feels like you care, even though you're trying to get your revenue raised, but it just shows that you understand what is going on with their products, and that's where data is very interesting. So the next thing I'll be going through is from dashboard to decision. So sometimes from your data team, you'd get the dashboard directly. They just give you the screen, they give you the dashboard. They might not give you like, in bits and pieces, like the way I arrange them on the Google Sheets. They might just give you a dashboard, right? And then, or you yourself, you create the dashboard using Metabase or Tableau, or depending on the tool in your particular company. You can create your own dashboard. But let's just say for this case, we got the dashboard with the data team. And then you got the weekly customer metrics. You're seeing that you added 72 new customers this week and 12 customers churned this week. And then your revenue is about $52,000. And then you have 345 active customers this week and 29% conversion rate. So you're looking at these numbers like this, but everything here means something, right? And then you're also looking at your new customers, how they are doing week 1, week 2, week 3, and then the ones that have churned, how many they are to from week 1, week 2, week 3, like that all the way. And then you're also looking at when last they renewed the customer, where they are currently. Are they in the negotiation stage? Are they in the proposal stage, progress? These are all CRM data that you need to have. It is very, very important. Yeah. So when you have your dashboard like this, you just have to be very analytical. So what I mean is that you need to look beyond just the dashboard. So from here, I'm just going to ask another question, right? If you're looking at this dashboard, what can you see? Like, what is something that you think you need to look out for? It might be success, it might be failure. It doesn't have to be something wrong. It can also be something successful. Something successful too is a good thing. It means that, oh, you are doing well with that particular partner or business or customer, that you need to also implement that same behavior, same approach to another one. So I'm just going to ask, what do you notice from this dashboard before I go ahead? Hi, Isaiah.
I think I would go
Everybody,
first, just everybody in the, just to ignite the energy. The churn rate is actually, it's almost as equivalent as the rate at which they acquire new customers. That's very worrisome.
I love that. Thank you so much, Itilope. That's actually very, very good. You know why? Because that's actually my number one point here. Like your pipeline value is higher than, no, sorry, that's not number one. That's number, I think 3. Yes, 3. I think there's 3 or one of them. I'm trying to remember. Oh, actually, it's none of them. Funny enough, she does a difference inside. I'm going to come to my 1 to 3 later. Thank you so much, Tizilope. So if you guys look at this dashboard, we have 72 new customers, which increased like about 8%, and then we're having churn customers, which reduced like about 6%. Even though you can't directly relate them because you don't know where you directly relate them, it's still, the percentages are still very, very close, 8% and 6%. And then this is something you need to look out for, that in as much as you're bringing in new customers, you're also losing customers. Then you have to take a sit back and look at your data like on a broader view, because you're losing revenue even though you're bringing in new customers. And bringing in new customers doesn't necessarily mean revenue, because they might not have even committed. They would have committed, but they might not have started using this service. So you need to also look at that. So another one will be that as you're having new customers, right, your revenue as well is also increasing, right? You can also see it's increasing as you're having new customers. So it's not that bad. You're having about $52,000, increasing at 12%. But mostly what you should be looking at is things like your percentages. That's what you should be looking at very, very well. You need to look at your percentages. You can see that there's an increase in revenue this week. So next week, you have to look at it again, right? So if there's an increase in revenue this week, it seems as though the customers that churned didn't really have so much impact like that on the revenue, but it's still something to look out for, maybe for the next week. You can just take note of that on one side, right? Another thing is that when you have churned customers, it usually like represents revenue leakage. So you have to look for retention strategies that you need, whether it's collaborating with somebody on the support team or collaborating with someone on the marketing team, to find strategies in order to strengthen your relationship with these people, or you even strengthen the relationship yourself by reaching out to them and discussing, understanding their pain points and things like that, to be able to increase that. So dashboards really tell like different stories. So you need to be able to just look at it very, very closely on a weekly basis and then make your decision across the month. Yeah. So I think that's about that on this part. I'm just going to ask some questions, and I'm hoping you indulge me with these questions so that I'm able to break down more things, right? So I'll just say, like, what's like your biggest data challenge as a salesperson? Sorry, that's a mistake. As a salesperson, what's your biggest data challenge? Yes, I had to pick with customer base. What's your greatest data challenge? Like, how has it been working with someone, say, on the data team where you work? What's challenging for you, so that I can also help by explaining like maybe a better way you can approach that.
Okay.
Is everybody tired?
They're probably just racking their brains and just digesting, what they just heard. I think about one problem that a lot of folks would tend to have is, difficulty in extracting insights from their CRM. There's so much data in people's CRMs, and there's little to how much data they're able to pull out of it. That's like about one issue that people tend to have. Another one, just at a bonus point, if people are still like racking their brains, would be, fragmented tools, right? So my CRM is in one place, then I have some, emails that did not make it into my CRM, because I don't know, where they fit. Then I have some backup, spreadsheets like Napa talked about yesterday. And every other, every other platforms like that. Even for some CRMs, they don't connect to Sales Nav yet. Right. So you have people who have data on. So that's, I think, is another big challenge a lot of salespeople tend to have. Right. And then as a result, there's like inaccuracy in the amount of data that they have, and also poor quality of data. I think the third challenge would be poor training, little training on how to, maximize their CRM. So those three main points, I don't know. People, every other one, if there's anyone I've not covered, please don't hesitate to add them in the chat box. Your top challenges when it comes to, CRM data.
Yeah, so for me, it would be actually interpreting the data, because there are quite a number of things that we see. There's so much data in the CRM platforms, and then there are sometimes that I don't know how to interpret it. And usually, sometimes even when you interpret it, it may be the wrong interpretation, because you may see that your users are churning, but it is because of something that is um outside of your control, maybe a regulation, or the startups in that segment are receiving less funding, so they may not have as much spend on the kind of product that you are selling. So there are some things that are outside of your control that the CRM platforms may not necessarily capture in terms of data. So interpreting the data is a huge pain point for me.
Okay, I thank you very much, Toye and Titilope. So based off what Titilope said, I'll start with Titilope, right? About data being in like different CRM tools and different segments. So that is why when I was explaining, I said that we have things like CRM boosters, and those boosters are things like your Tableau dashboard or your Metabase, or in fact, it can even be your Excel, turning it into a dashboard so that you see it in one place, right? When you have it as a dashboard in one place, it's easy for you to make decisions off of it. So if you have it separately segmented somehow, try to bring them together in a dashboard. So I know that as a salesperson, you might not be able to do that, but you can collaborate and speak to someone on the data team that, okay, these are the points and the pointers I'm trying to look at. And these are things that make sense to me and they're important to me for me to be able to keep my sales, to keep my sales pipeline, sane, right? So when you tell the person that the person is able to build that dashboard for you, right? And then you're able to now use that dashboard to make decisions. And these kind of tools give you that make that dashboard very automated in such a way that, on a weekly basis, you are seeing the changes, you are seeing the trends. So if you have data in silos, you need to bring them together in a dashboard using CRM boosters. If you don't have a dashboard, you speak to somebody on the data team and then, they get that for you. For Olatoye, I'm sorry, and then Titilope mentioned something about not being experienced. As I said, same thing. If you're not experienced with some things, we have resources everywhere that, you can, and things like these workshops like this, that, provide us with such information, and then people you can reach out to, this community as well. I like that you're able to ask questions, and on a weekly basis or monthly basis, you're able to also get responses from experts in the field. So always ask questions to be able to expand your knowledge in how to make use of these tools. So like during this program yesterday, they taught HubSpot, they taught Salesforce, go to the recordings and, learn it well so that you're able to not have any excuse, right? And then if you're still struggling, Google Sheets is like very easy. Just make sure that you know the top CRM data that you're trying to get, at least for that period of learning, you can make use of the sheet. And that's why I decided to, focus on that today, because I know that a lot of people struggle with these tools. So mine is, okay, how do you want to get revenue out? If you're struggling with these tools, use simple Google Sheets. Yeah. And then for Olatoye, yes, there are sometimes that things are out of your control, right? And that's why, if you notice on the data set that I shared, I put something very important there, which is websites, right? The reason why I put website there, people might be like, it's not probably necessary, but it is necessary for you to actually deep dive into what are they doing, what's going on, what are the announcements that they are coming up with, what's their LinkedIn. Those are CRM data. LinkedIn links are CRM data. Websites, they are business information that are very important. So when you're able to see this, sometimes I can just be sitting down scrolling through LinkedIn and I say, oh, this business that I was speaking to, they are here today. There was one business I was speaking to, they were doing something and they pivoted into, I think, asset management or something. And I saw that as an opportunity because, you know, I'm trying to sell asset management, you know, things like that. So it's very, very, very important. When they're out of your control, because you don't want it to be out of your control, you have to be proactive. And proactivity means deep diving into websites, deep diving into their LinkedIn profiles, their CRM data that you can use to actually understand what's going on in that company or that industry. Read the news, read regulations, very, very important. Sales doesn't just stop at you are selling the product and bye-bye. You have to read, you have to open your eye, you have to. Data is not just these columns and these sheets. Data is information. So you need those information to be able to generate more revenue. Yeah. So I think that's what I'll say. I think I will just go to the next question, which is if you can share one insight you use from your CRM data daily, because I've been talking about my own insights. So if you have insights, like what insights do you use from your CRM data? You know that these insights, I can never do without it. Like if they remove this insight from my data tool or from my CRM tool, my work here is done. So I want us to share so that other people too can also learn. I think I saw Vicky's hand up the last time, but Titi was talking, so she couldn't talk. So Vicky, you can talk now.
Yeah, thank you very much. But someone had already mentioned my concern earlier.
Oh, okay. So, but for this particular question, can you share one insight you use from your CRM data on a daily basis? That you know that, okay, this CRM data is something that I can't do without.
Okay, so for me, I'm looking to actually integrate a CRM tool. So I'm looking like for the best one that would help me. So that's why I'm keeping my ears open for it.
Okay, so I don't know if you were here yesterday. I don't know if you were here yesterday. If you were here when they were
No, I
discussing.
wasn't.
Okay. Hi, Titi. I'm sure the recordings will be available, correct?
Yes, after the entire workshop, everything will be shared with the entire team.
Okay. So
Okay, thank you.
yeah, so you'll be able to choose which one you feel is the best fit for the use case of your company. Yeah. Thank you very much, Vicky. I think I'll just go straight to so that what's one metric you wish your CRM told you today? Like today, maybe there's something that your CRM doesn't do for you, and you wish this is something that can change your sales strategy. That can help you have better forecasting. You can tell me that. And then I'll just go to the last question, which is, what CRM challenges do you face while collaborating with other teams? Because I know that when I answered Titi, I said that we need to be able to collaborate with other teams to be able to get this data. So do you face challenges when you're trying to discuss with a team to get data sets from? If you do, you can also raise up your hand. Maybe they don't want to work with you or they don't want to listen to you or things like that. You can also raise up your hand. Let's hear that. Or you can put it in the chat box as well. I can also give you some tips on how to do that because I collaborate with like almost every department, finance, growth, finance, engineering, product, customer support, even compliance. Like I collaborate with all of these people and then I have I don't know if I'll call it strategies, but it's very easy for me to do that, right? I'm able to get them on a call. So if it's something that, you're struggling with, I would like to know that. I don't know if I should call somebody. Hi, Favor, Solomon Favor. I think because I can see your picture. Hi, Solomon Favor.
Hello, good evening.
Yes. Hi. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
So,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I was asking, I said,
Okay,
what
like is it
CRM?
in regards to the question if I'm having
Yes,
challenges
yes,
collaborating?
yes. I think our
Okay,
network is
so
not.
first of all, like actually a novice CRM encounter with understanding. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is that yesterday's meeting was my first time like coming in contact with CRM and seeing how it works. So let's just say I've never used CRM before. I've never practiced on it, and I've never really collaborated on CRM. So I'm just here to actually learn how it works. Thank you.
Okay. That's okay too as well. And of course, I wish you the best, like in learning. And of course, it's not really as hard as it seems. You just have to just be determined, and then you get it. So
While
I
everyone is
think.
getting answers ready for
Sorry.
insight, I said while everyone is getting their answers ready for insights, I think sales cycle length super important. So you're able to know, how long it's taking each and every one of your sales execs close. Sorry, I'm partial to sales. I have a sales background. Stage marketing person here, no offense. Stage to stage conversion rates, super important. I is one insight that I don't think anybody should play with. Then churns, I think CS people would love this. Management as well would love this. And a recurring revenue, very important. Not just spend with us. Who's spending with us over and over again, and why? Who is not spending with us over and over again, and why are they not doing that? Right?
Yeah.
Then a metric I wish my CRM told me today: expected close rates for deals, at least based on historical data and patterns.
Okay. I like it. I like it. It's good to have that kind of big dream. It's not a bad dream, of course. You can predict it, but I don't want to be the.
I understand you perfectly. Especially
Maybe
for enterprise.
well, AI is very, very interesting, right? So it's possible that you can know an expected close date based on past pattern. You might not necessarily know the dates, but maybe a sort of behaviors actually have a lot to play in this. People's behaviors have a lot to play, so I don't even know.
Well, AI people should get their game up. What science is not selling?
But taking note of that, you might not know. I might build something like that or do that.
Well, who knows? Then, CRM challenges by collaborating with other departments would be a having not having a centralized, dashboard, or not having, the data to interpret in a way that makes sense to you. So for example, marketing data might be needed by sales. For example, marketing have like a whole bunch of MQLs. And at the end of the day, the SQLs that came out of it was like a fraction, maybe like 1%. Marketing can say, oh, I already have MQLs and I'm good and I'm out. I gave you guys 1,000 MQLs. I've done my job, I'm out, right? Meanwhile, the SQLs that came out of it was basically like 1%. There are two things that might be happening. It could be that the MQLs that were generated were not even the kind of people that you need. And then you call them, hearing one language I don't understand. You're like, oh, I just said and I clicked, right? And marketing is not picking that as a feedback that, oh yes, while we created these very large MQLs, marketing qualified leads, right? We created about 1,000 of them. The amount of sales qualified leads after the sales team reached out to them and engaged them, only 10 of them were useful. So that would mean is that we are reaching the wrong people or sales is doing a bad job. So that's when investigation then comes in. But then most of the times when these KPIs, when these data, they're being read, they're not really, talked about in a way that every department, even if it is not their direct metric, they get interested and try to see what that means for them, either directly or indirectly. I think that's like one huge challenge when it comes to collaborating with other teams, right? And the data is not usually well broken down to make sense to other people, right?
Yes. Okay. I think that would also have to just do with the company, to be honest. Sometimes some people don't actually know like a lot of things, and then they are giving you data that is not clear, shops like this. So sometimes you have to do the job where you actually deep dive into this data yourself. Even though they give you unclean, try to look at it, okay, why did they give you this? And then, work with that. So even if they say these are their qualified leads, marketing qualified leads, you can ask, okay, what drove the decision for this marketing qualified leads? And politely, of course, because you want to collaborate with people and then it's like you're asking them how to do their jobs. So it can be more like, oh, I'm just interested, what made you come up with this? Right? I'm just interested in the insights that was gathered from this. And then they can just share it with you and then you know which one of them makes sense to you and which one you feel like as a salesperson won't be qualified as a lead for you. Yeah, I think I can't believe I've spent this long time. Yeah. Just to conclude, and then anybody that has any other questions, you can ask. As I said, CRM data is not just your numbers, is information, is different things. And that is like the difference between you guessing and you trusting your guts. It's good to trust your guts, but like it's just a difference between that and knowing what is happening. You would see it clearly. It's like, this is the spreadsheet. This is everything on my Salesforce. This is everything on my private. You are seeing it. And then when you read the data right, you're not just tracking the revenue, you're creating revenue off of it. So as I said, as I shared with you with the sheet, you're saying, okay, this person is at risk. How do I create revenue from this? You're saying this person is not doing as much as they would do, or they are almost joining. How do I create revenue out of this? Yeah, so I think that's what I'll conclude with. If you have any questions, you can ask. And then you can also always reach out as well, or check me on LinkedIn to kind of ask me questions.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to respond to you.
Thank you. Omolara, this is amazing. We have a question in the chat box though, from Mobina. She asked if data marketing is the same as being tech savvy. I think I would answer that. Being tech savvy is literally a general, it's a generally needed skill. So you could be tech savvy and then be in sales. You could be tech savvy and be in hospitality. You could be tech savvy and be in medical. You could be, as long as you're a working person or as long as you're born in this generation, you really should be tech savvy because you literally thrive on technology at the moment. But you can be an extremely technically savvy, digital marketer. I hope you got that, Mobina. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Omolara. Does anybody have any questions for her before we round up? I think I have a couple at this end. So yeah, so first question would be, okay, Taiwo, let's have Taiwo first. So what analytical tools do you use to analyze your CRM data?
Okay, hi Taiwo. So for me, I actually make use of Metabase. I don't know if you know Metabase, but I'm just going to type that here. Oh, I think I even opened it somewhere here. Yeah, I think this is Metabase. This is what it looks like. So that's what I actually use to analyze my own data, right? they have like different dashboards, and then different dashboards you can create, from even your sales forecasting dashboard to your sales activity dashboard as well. When you have that data and then you have it in columns, it will build it for you directly and then show you those trends. Like when you see it, you're able to tell, okay, in January is low, in this is low, and this. So I make use of Metabase. I also make use of Tableau as well to analyze, right? I make use of an Tableau as well. And then sometimes I actually have to use things like SQL, right? So say for instance, I'm trying to understand transaction data because I work for a for a software as a service company, and I'm trying to analyze transaction data. Sometimes there are a whole lot. I actually have to use SQL to actually query this particular transaction to be able to understand what these businesses are doing. But for analytical tools, I would say it depends on the company you're working for, right? So I won't say you should necessarily go and master a particular analytical tool, right? So it depends on what the company is using. And if you're just starting, you're not starting working with any company, you can actually start with Tableau. It's pretty beginner friendly, right? It can help you analyze your data set. Of course, you will need the engineering team to help you plug the database to it, or if you want to plug it yourself, I think you can also do that. But somebody on the data team should be able to do that. I'm a data analyst, I'm talking about it from this angle. But if you're a salesperson, right, you can speak to somebody on the data team, or you build it yourself and then you're able to analyze it with that and get insights from it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. One last question before you go would be, how, as a non, data savvy person, how do you decide what is noise and what actually drives, the impact that you need?
Okay, so when do you decide what is noise and what drives what? Sorry.
How do you know, what is noise, and how do you know what is actually useful? How are you able to separate both as a non,
okay, yeah,
like data savvy person?
Yeah. So basically, to be honest, every data is important, right? But for you to be able to determine what is noise is, what are you trying to achieve from it? Like, what's the goal, right? What's your audience? So as a salesperson, your goal is to do what? To bring revenue, to make revenue for the company. So if you are trying to make revenue for the company, you are able to streamline what will be noise for you. So let me go back to my sheet here, right? When we're looking at this company size, to be honest with you, is noise for me right now, because I don't really care about how many people are in that company to be able to sell the product to them. What is most important to me is, how much are they bringing in? What industry are they in? What are they doing? When did they start? And what is the status, right? And then and the noise keeps reducing as it goes. When I did that, then if you notice, when I was having the presentation, I now focused on only this column. Now the other things are noise. I'm able to come up with this, right? And then if I'm able to come up with this, I know that all the people at risk, I'm taking them out and then bringing them here, right? So now start analyzing them one by one. So I won't say that everything is noise, but it depends on what you're trying to achieve at that moment. That will help you streamline what is noise. If it's somebody on a growth team, this company size won't be noise for them, because what is their goal? Their goal is to make sure that more people are using the product. So that's what I would say.
Thank you very much for this amazing session. Thank you for walking us through, even as much as a lot of us here are newbies. Thank you so much for walking us through the ABC of data analysis, and we'll be looking forward to getting your sheet as well, so that everyone can take a look and replicate for their own personal use. Thank you so much, Omolara. We've had a fantastic time with you.
Yeah.
Guys, let's
Thank you.
Emojis, let's give all of the reactions, let's show how excited we are. Thank you so much. Yeah, so let's note everybody